So, what a day it was yesterday for USC on the trail as they got a massive win for one of the best prospects in all of high school football. This time, a 5-star wide receiver out the state of Utah in Jerome Myles that really can do it all. He stands 6'2" plus, has a 10.3 900-meter dash, and today we need to talk about why this win is so big. But before we can, as always, y'all know the drill. I have got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments. Y for yes, N for no. Are you excited about this addition for the Trojans? And let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. And we kind of already talked about who is Jerome Myles. Well, he is a 6'2", 210-pound wide receiver out the state of Utah that, depending on where you look, he's either a very high 4-star or a 5-star. If we check out the 24/7 Sports composite, he comes in as the number 36 player in the nation, the number 7 wide receiver, and the number 1 player in the state of Utah. But the reason why I bring you the 5-star rating, because per 24/7 Sports composite, he is just outside of 5-star range. 24/7 Sports themselves rank him as a 5-star, where they rank him as the number 30 player in the nation, the number 5 wide receiver in a class that, quite frankly, is loaded with wide receiver talent, and once again, the number 1 player in the state of Utah. If we look at the On3 industry rankings, he is a 5-star player coming in within the top 30 players of the nation. So, feel very comfortable saying this kid's a 5-star. I absolutely believe that by the end of this, he will be a 5-star in the 24/7 Sports composite rankings, because 24/7 Sports themselves show you how much they value this kid and what he brings to the table. And what he brings to the table is hard to replicate. We've seen fast wide receivers before. That's not uncommon. But to be 6'2", 210 pounds, and have a 10.3 900-meter dash, that's impressive. I don't care who you are. This is the type of guy that defenses have got to account for when he steps on the field. Because if you're a quarterback, not only do you know I can throw it long, you know I can throw it high and have him go up and get it. That's dangerous for opposing defenses to try and account for. And really, it makes sense that he would want to go play in a high-flying offense that Lincoln Riley cultivates at USC. I'm not surprised. But what does this do for USC's recruiting class as a whole? Well, they are just outside the top 10 per 24/7 Sports, and I do mean just outside the top 10. They have 2 less commitments than the team ranked number 10, so if they get another win, they will be vaulted into that top 10 status. They have 20 commits and an average recruit rank of 91.19, so they are doing a really good job on the trail. And I've talked before that there are some guys in this USC class I love. Matai Tagoai is someone who I think is so fun to watch play football. I can't wait till he gets to the college level so that I can see him with college coaches in a college strength and conditioning room, and to see how his game continues to evolve. Because genuinely, if you had me list 10 players or 15 or 20 players in this class that I thought was the most exciting to watch, I don't know how I would leave him off of that list. He is genuinely one of my favorite prospects in this class, and I've said this before, and I will maintain that. The first time I ever covered him, whenever we made that video on him and I started digging into who he was, what he does, what all he has been asked to do, I was floored. I mean, I had so much fun watching him. But as did I have a lot of fun watching Jerome Myles, because this is a do-it-all type wide receiver. You give him an inch, he's going to take 2 miles. He has home run speed. He's a track guy, so his speed is a little bit different. We've talked about this before, that there's football speed, and that's awesome, and then there's track speed. One of the things we always ask is, does the track speed translate to the football field? And in Myles' case, the answer is an overwhelming yes, and as it usually is the case, it is an overwhelming yes. So if you're a USC fan, I can imagine you're very happy about this addition, especially having a recruiting class that very early in this college football season, you already have good numbers. You're at 20, so now you can be a little bit picky. You can focus in on a few areas, maintain the guys you have, but you don't have to worry about filling a recruiting class. And this is something I've talked about with several other teams that I love that they do. That at the beginning of the football season, your recruiting class is almost already filled. You can focus on a finite amount of relationships, build those up instead of having to worry about, oh man, I have 10, 12 slots in this recruiting class we need to fill. That's tough to juggle during the season. And I understand that there's a recruiting staff, but the head coach is involved. The position coaches are involved. As much as the recruiting staff does a phenomenal job, and I'm not going to discount that, you want your guys focused as much on the season as they can be, because in USC's case, one of the things I talked about this offseason, one of the things I asked, especially on the defensive side, because we've said this time and time again, offensive players are going to want to play for Lincoln. That's just what it is. But defensively, give these recruits something to believe in, and they will come. Thus far, you have done just that, and you have another opportunity this weekend against Michigan to continue giving these recruits something to believe in. And if you pull off a win there, and your defense continues to look like it's a defense growing, and remember, I said this not long ago, I'm not asking that USC has a top 10, 15, 20, 25, even top 30 defense. If at the end of this season you finish it out and you're anywhere between 35 to 45, that's unbelievable growth. That is absolutely an achievement. That's not easy to do. And I know what Lynn just did at UCLA. I'm very aware. That's incredible. If he's able to replicate that and get USC anywhere between 30, 35, 45, anywhere in that range, if you think I took notice, you bet these recruits will have taken notice as well. So this weekend's going to be fascinating, but what a way to head into the weekend getting a huge win on the recruiting trail for one of the best players in all of high school football. I feel very comfortable calling him a 5-star when 24/7 Sports themselves say he's a 5-star on their composite. And what the composite is, for I'm sure all of you know, but just so that we're all clear here, it's a weighted ranking of all of the different recruiting services. So it's their ranking on 3 rivals, ESPN, they weight it, and that's the composite. But 24/7 Sports themselves have him as a 5-star. Their own composite has him just outside a 5-star range. On 3 industry rankings, has him as a 5-star. Feel comfortable calling him a 5-star because I do believe that's where he will end up. Hop down to the comments. Let me know what you're thinking about this win. That's it. See ya.